Mangwana ni malelepo vukenjani dumelava na Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show that remains your portal into Africa's most potent stories. Later in the show, we will be delivering a focused Botswana report, which has been sent through to us by Rodisang Mohojwe, who unfortunately is feeling unwell today, but she has sent us those words and visuals with regards to Botswana straight from Gaborone. But prior to that, these are some of the top stories we'll be looking at. Hakainde Hichilema's re-election delivers policy continuity as investors look for growth. Former street kid Matlatla takes center stage in South Africa police corruption inquiry. Masiyiwa's Econet targets 15,000 new EcoCash agents for Zimbabwean returnees. South Africa adds 500 Rand processing charge to new electronic travel authorization. So those are some of the stories that we'll be looking at on Africa Good Morning. That's on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTVAFRIKA.MY.NA. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories shortly.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism.
Let's get into our top stories. Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema's re-election offers investors the policy continuity they sought, while talks over a new International Monetary Fund program will test whether economic stabilization can become sustained growth. Zambia, Africa's second largest copper producer, is recovering from years of turmoil after becoming the first African sovereign to default during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Hichilema's first term centered on debt restructuring and IMF-backed reforms amid drought, power shortages and currency weakness. Election results showed Hichilema received roughly 60% of valid votes against 38% for Brian Mundubile. Now, Telemer's Stuart Culverhouse said investors now expect continued macroeconomic stability, lower inflation, fiscal discipline, faster growth and investment. Zambia aims to secure a new IMF program by year end after its previous $1.7 billion arrangement expired in January. Finance Minister Situmbeko Musokotwane said fresh investment was needed for growth and jobs. Investors are also watching central bank independence, fiscal discipline and infrastructure spending. Zambia targets annual copper output of 3 million metric tons, although El Nino-related drought and hydropower disruption could threaten production. Its 2033 bond was bid at 97.72 cents just yesterday. Now we swing to South Africa. Vusi Muzi Kat Matlala, a 49-year-old businessman, has become central to South Africa's Matlanga Commission inquiry into alleged police corruption. He is accused of supplying gifts, including Impalas, Ozempic, and personal loans to gain influence and police contracts. Matlala, in custody for more than a year over a separate case, is giving evidence before retired Constitutional Court Judge Mbuyiseli Matlanga and his panel. At a parliamentary inquiry last November, he denied and politicians, while acknowledging donations linked to African National Congress activities. Matlala told lawmakers he had once been a street kid after his single mother disappeared, and that he later reunited with her before her death in 2002. He was convicted in 2001 for possessing stolen goods. Matlala and his wife, Tsakane Matlala, deny attempted murder charges. Allegations before the commission have involved suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, Beki Sele, Major General Shadrack Sibiya, Bridget Rachel Mashenga, Major General Richard Shibiri, and suspended Ekurhuleni official Julius Mukwanazi. He later registered his first security services business in 2017 before, quote-unquote, expanding into healthcare services. Billionaire and Zimbabwe's richest man, Strive Masiyiwa, has directed Econet to create opportunities for Zimbabweans returning from South Africa, including plans for 15,000 additional EcoCash agents by Christmas. Douglas Mboweni, Chief Executive Officer of Econet Wireless Zimbabwe, said management held several meetings with Masiyiwa to identify projects supporting government efforts to assist returnees. Zimbabwe is reintegrating more than 115,000 citizens who have returned from South Africa since late May, amid tougher immigration enforcement and anti-immigrant pressure. EcoCash's planned expansion is the largest part of the initiative. Now, Mboweni said each new agent could support at least 2 jobs, potentially creating income opportunities for about 30,000 people, although the agents operate as independent businesses rather than direct Econet employees. They earn commissions through deposits, withdrawals, transfers, and other financial services. EcoCash recorded a 21% rise in transaction volumes and a 210% increase in transaction values in the year ended February 2025. Now we'll swing back to South Africa, where the country has introduced a 500 Rand processing fee for its electronic travel authorization system, 5 days after President Cyril Ramaphosa launched the platform as part of its efforts to digitize visa and immigration processes. The Department of Home Affairs introduced the fee through visa regulation amendments gazetted on August 17. Now, Ramaphosa launched the ETA at OR Tambo International Airport. This was on the 12th of August. Here is President Cyril Ramaphosa speaking at the launch.
The electronic travel authorization system will make travel to South Africa a lot easier. It will also make it faster and more predictable. I tested this with one of the travelers who we saw how quickly he was processed. It literally took just less than 1 minute, and the traveler was beaming with laughter, with joy, with a broad smile, because he had a sense that he had been received in a very respectful manner, in a very efficient manner to the country. And this system will encourage tourism. Minister De Lille will be the happiest minister in the cabinet today, much as Minister Schreiber thinks that he's the happiest. It is Minister De Lille who is the happiest, who's beaming with joy, because this is going to encourage tourists to come to South Africa. And it will also support trade. It will attract investment, because people who invest money want to know whether they are welcome as they travel to destinations where they want to go and invest their money. It will facilitate skills and knowledge exchange, and at the same time, it will strengthen the integrity of our borders and improve our ability to manage migration effectively. This reform reflects a simple but important truth. In the global economy, accessibility matters. Investors compare countries. They will compare how we compare with another country. And I always tell my colleagues on the cabinet that as we do anything, let's see how other countries operate. I always say, let's find out how other children play and see whether we are measuring up or whether we are better or worse. It is important that we do so because that's what investors do, that's what travelers do. They want to see how best we stack up with others. Tourists do compare countries. Conference organizers also compare countries. When they organize conferences, conferences are a big tourist attraction element, or process rather. They compare how South Africa measures to other countries. And students also compare countries. Highly skilled professionals also compare how other countries treat them. Every unnecessary delay, every cumbersome administrative process, and every avoidable obstacle encourage people to look somewhere else. People become very impatient. They always want ease of doing things. They want simplicity, and they want modernity.
All right, now in this next report by the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, Hakainde Hichilema, the recently re-elected president of Zambia, vows to protect peace and security in the nation. As stated, this footage belongs to ZNBC, the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation.
President Hakainde Hichilema has begun his second term with a call for Zambians to protect the peace and stability that he says remains critical to the country's development. Speaking in a national address after his re-election, President Hichilema warned against political violence, militias, and the emergence of a gun culture, saying such behavior is alien to Zambia. The president said political
that lawlessness has no place in this country. This country has opportunities for all. But amongst those opportunities, lawlessness is not one of them. Absolutely not. To bring a culture of guns in our country, militia-type behavior, what we see in other regions is alien to us. And I have said before that stability, peace, security, stability is the ingredient, is the environment, operating environment for development, for opportunity. Let us continue doing that. Let us as citizens reject 1, 2 more of citizens who are veering in that no-go area. That's my message to the people of Zambia. But I can also assure you that your government will protect every citizen. That's the flip side of the coin. To save you, but also to protect you.
He urged citizens to respect one another regardless of how they voted and to celebrate the election outcome responsibly. President Hichilema said those who voted for him and those who did not are all equal citizens and that government has a responsibility to serve and protect everyone.
Those who support those who have not been elected, do not provoke those who may be celebrating peacefully. But there is no winner here. There is no loser. We are all winners. Zambia is the winner. Public office is not competition to beat each other down physically, to match at each other. No. It's competition to save through an election process like what we've gone through. Really, that is what is important. So we must celebrate with responsibility. We must, if we choose to be quiet and not provoke those who are celebrating. Those who are celebrating, don't injure somebody, don't damage somebody's property. That's not the spirit. Let us be responsible at all times. Because he or she who did not make the decision you made in the election is not your enemy. They are your brother, they are your sister, your uncle, auntie, they are your neighbor.
The president says maintaining peace and the rule of law will provide an environment needed for his government's second-term priorities. The head of state said the next 5 years will focus on expanding the economy through investment, creating jobs and business opportunities while generating more revenue for government.
More business opportunities, more treasury revenue. And then this becomes a cycle, call it anything. it comes in and out, and growth will ease even further the cost of living, which we understand. But you know, I've tried to explain today, fellow citizens, on how we've been working to put a package of measures, a myriad of measures, to ameliorate the cost of living. And you can count on us that we'll continue doing that over the years ahead.
He said government will also continue responding to concerns raised by citizens during the campaign, including support for agriculture, improved infrastructure, and measures aimed at reducing the cost of living.
During our campaigns, we heard you. We traversed the country. We heard your concerns. And we will be basically pulling all of these concerns across the 10 provinces, in the 116 districts, 226 constituencies, 1,858 wards. All of these views, of course, not every view will be repeated by many others, but the greater majority of them, the themes have come through. Continue with free education. That's what Zambians told us. You have made our lives different, better. Continue with CDF. The citizens talking to us. Don't withdraw cash for work. Take care of the farmers. So when we produce, we answer, Mr. President, your call to produce more, like we've done, first ever 5 million metric tons of maize. And now paying them once they deliver the way their maize at FRA within 2-3 days.
President Hichilema has since challenged Zambians to embrace hard work and production, saying the country must become a nation of producers rather than one that depends mainly on trading. Wilson Mulinda, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
All right, it's time for us to dig into the news from Botswana, and by far the biggest story right now is Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Noah Salakaye resigning from cabinet, and this is citing ongoing corruption allegations brought against him by the Directorate of Corruption and Economic Crime, which is the DCEC, and his upcoming court appearance on August 20. Here is the former minister in his own words.
Weight of state allegations, driven by none other than the notorious DCEC senior officer, who reports directly to the Minister of State, President, Defense and Security. When a government body decides to target an individual, the process is swift and isolating. The most painful part is when the allegations are arrived at through calculated leaks, sudden bureaucratic investigations, and a presumption of guilt. The hardest part is realizing that evidence matters less than the narrative the state wants to create. Living under this kind of pain, Mr. Speaker, has taken a massive toll on me. My constant wonder is what next? Friends and associates have distanced themselves, afraid that being near me will make them the state's next target. Against this backdrop, Mr. Speaker, following a summons issued to me by the DCEC on Thursday, 13th August 2026, to appear in court for corruption allegations, it is with a profound sense of duty and deep regret that I stand before you today to announce my immediate resignation from my position as a member of the Cabinet. I want to be entirely clear at the onset, Mr. Speaker, that my resignation does not in any way constitute an admission of guilt or liability regarding the allegations currently under scrutiny. Rather, I've made a deliberate and conscious decision to step down to address a personal legal matter requiring my attendance in court on the 28th August 2026. My sole focus is to fully cooperate with and allow the legal process to run its course. Mr. Speaker, it is critical that state agencies such as the DCEC and DIS should not weaponize corruption laws, because by so doing, they stop protecting citizens and start protecting power. It highlights.
Continuing with the Botswana report, Botswana is entering a major demographic shift, with declining birth rates and longer life expectancy expected to reshape the country's population in the coming years. Latest population projections based on the 2022 Population and Housing Census indicate that most Botswana will remain within the working age population of 15 to 64 years, presenting an opportunity to drive economic growth through greater investment in jobs, skills, as well as productivity. At the same time, the population aged 65 and above is projected to grow, placing increasing demands on healthcare, pensions, social protection, and long-term care. The projections point to a changing population structure driven by declining fertility and significant reductions in early life mortality. Now we end with Botswana's creative sector, as international R&B star Karen White is set to headline the GIMC Jazz on the lawns of Gaborone International Music and International Music and Culture Week returns for its 12th edition. Now, the Grammy-nominated American singer, known for hits including Superwoman and Secret Rendezvous, will headline the September 5 showcase, bringing international star power to one of Botswana's leading music and cultural events. The event forms part of GIMC, which has become a major fixture on Botswana's entertainment calendar, blending music, culture, and lifestyle while creating platforms for local and international talent. Botswana's Seretse and the Natives and the Women of Jazz Botswana Ensemble will also feature, placing local talent alongside the international headliner. Here is Karen White in anticipation of her performance in Botswana.
What's up, Botswana? This is Karen White, the Superwoman, and I'm coming to see you on September the 5th for the first time, and I'm so excited, singing all your favorite hits. Get your tickets, and I'll see you there.
Good times ahead for Gaborone, Botswana, indeed. That's been our broadcast on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTVAFRIKA.MY.NA. We return tomorrow with the South Africa Report delivered by Ari Hochad from Cape Town, and of course, the top stories from the African continent. We now leave you with the economic indicators, as we say, Swera Jakanaka.